Hi and welcome. We're going to take a look at the Aria from Handel's Suite HWV 441. It's currently a grade 5 piece with the ABRSM. We will encounter all sorts of things like articulation, fingering and ornamentation, for example. Let me work through the first 8 bars in a little bit of detail, and then you'll see the way I might go about practicing this piece. And we will look through the rest of it as well. So I would start with the right hand, which has all the semiquaver passage work, doesn't it? So, by the way, the audition I'm using is one I have taken from imslp.org. It's not the edition that the ABRSM have produced, but I'm sure it would be fine. If I was sitting the exam, I might want to just cross-reference the edition they suggest. So let's go through. And in that very first phrase, we get the zigzag pattern that makes up the entire piece. Handel is playing with that zigzag idea throughout, isn't he? And we'll need to watch out what fingerings we use. It's so easy to run out of fingers in this piece. Different pianists will have different suggestions, all of them equally valid. My hand happens to be this shape and this size, so I'll throw my thoughts into the arena, but please don't feel you have to follow them. So, and I'm keeping a very relaxed wrist, bit of flexibility there. A good warm-up for this piece. We're in G major. Something like that to get the hand and the wrist moving. Let's work our way through the right hand now. So I feel a sense of that being a phrase, so that one is louder than that one. And it answers with, again, a phrase. A longer section. Note these uses of 1 and 4 in order to get the hand down the keyboard. 1, 4, 1, 4. 1, 4, 1, 4 in order to get the right fingering to cover that F sharp. That's my logic anyway. And then we're kicking off again. Notice I'm keeping a slight gap between some of the quavers. The 8th notes. Now we've got a little ornament here in the edition I've got. I suggest we keep it simple and just do the note itself, note above and back again. The other option that we'll encounter will be to start on the note above. But I would urge you generally to keep it simple. And in this particular instance, we haven't actually got very long. We've only got a quaver's worth of time. And if we start on the note above, not only have we not got very long, but it also means repeating the C. We would have to do, and which is unnecessarily fiddly. I would suggest keep it like that. Next phrase starts with the 4th finger in order to negotiate that C sharp. Now this ornament, we've got a bit more time. It's a dotted quaver, so I would start on the upper note. It's also easier because we're coming from the G before, with a little mordant at the very end as well. The left hand, I would suggest playing it in a detached style. That's very typical of what we might call the default playing for a Baroque music. It's a harpsichord style. We're not playing on harpsichords, but I still think it works very well. So we're aiming for, no, we're not aiming for that legato. We're aiming for a slight separation between the notes. Avoid thinking of it as staccato as such. It's not that. It's not that. More like that. We put them together. thing. When you get them together, try a jagged, dotted rhythm here. That would help the coordination. Am I together in the right place? Let's keep going. Note, I do the second again to the thumb in the left hand. Sense of landing on the beat, whether it be at the first beat of the bar, beginning of the bar, or halfway through the bar. I think that rhythm will really help to work the fingers, get them moving, and help you to become familiar with it. Let's move on. The same idea comes round as from the start. Again, phrasing there. Our simple decoration here. Ideally they should be together. Did you notice that left hand fingering down that scale so I can negotiate the black notes when they happen? Little jump of the thumb. And here I'm going to do, again, starting with both hands together. And I do tend to join up some of the quavers at the cadential points, at the end of phrases. It just sort of offers some variety, I think. And then in the second half. By the way, at the moment we're going very steadily through the piece. It's an aria, but it's also marked presto, which is slightly contradictory in my thinking, because I associate arias with being something that you sing, whereas this isn't really so much that. Perhaps Handel was referring to the sing-song nature of the phrases like that. But I would caution against going too fast. Make sure it makes sense for your fingers and in your thinking. With that said, let's do the second half now, nice and steadily. Notice I'm thinking, that's one thing, that's another statement, a longer statement. So I'm ever so subtly just putting a gap between them. By the way, the left hand fingering down that scale, you might have noticed what I did. There are all sorts of options. That's one of them. Fingering here is a little bit tricky because of negotiating the F sharp. And here, possibly a longer decoration because we've got more time. And it's the end of a chunk, isn't it? But you could do as well, as we've discussed. Now we've got this sequence, haven't we? The left hand needs to know where it's going because it's bouncing around a bit. Although fortunately, Handel's given us some time to get from one chord to the other. Have you noticed what chords they are? E goes to A goes to D, D goes to G, G goes to C, A goes to D. E goes to A goes to D, D goes to G, G goes to C. It's the circle of fourths. Really powerful chord progression. It's a great example of patterns, isn't it, this? And I wouldn't worry about the thumb ending up on that C sharp, it's fine. I'll keep going. thumb on the D, I think, because it means we've got enough fingers to take us all the way down to the G. We know this bit. There's so many options for this scale as well. I'm going to go for this one. And again, because it's the end of the piece, let's go for the more complicated, lift our hand off the B to play it again. And don't hesitate to have a little bit of a gap between that and the final chord. You resist, I think, the temptation to plonk down a bit of pedal to link them up. The whole piece can be played without any pedal at all. So think about the articulation. Generally, the left hand is going to be detached. The right hand has got all the passage work. You do need to mark in. My score's got all sorts of little fingerings marked in it. Have a think about what will work for you. And take it in small chunks. It tends to be the end of the phrases that's the difficult bit, isn't it? For example, this bit at bar 11. There's just a lot going on, and we've got some black keys to negotiate, and some leaps and a decoration as well. Stop. Can I do the rest of the beat? Okay, can I do the rest of the beat? Can I do that kind of thing? Can I play that hand very loud? Let's play this hand very loud with the right rhythm this time. Sorry. All that kind of different mishmashes of the hands is wonderful, and it means that your hands are ultimately becoming nice and independent. If you have any further questions, please come back to me. Bye-bye for now.